Hi, everyone. The faithful flocking to Vatican City right now as Pope Francis delivers his Christmas blessing, the Urbi et Orbi from St. Peter's Square. Tens of thousands gathered there to hear the Holy Father's message.
Yeah, joining us now, fresh off of a late night of midnight mass and services, is Fox News contributor Father Jonathan Morris.
This is what I look like with 1 hour of sleep.
Wow.
Merry Christmas.
Pretty good.
But Christmas Eve, midnight mass, what a special moment.
It was beautiful to see so many families coming after their Christmas, Christmas Eve dinner and coming to mass and giving priority to the things of God. I loved it. It's such a beautiful, beautiful moment. And also because it's Christmas, and we celebrate not only the things that we've been seeing on the streets here in New York City and so many cities of all the sounds and the smells, but also, and most importantly, what Christmas is all about, and we'll talk about that.
In the Urbi et Orbi 2 years ago, Pope Francis called on Catholics to not be afraid, and then last year his message was focused on the tenderness of the Christ child. What about this year?
So I'm looking at it. He's giving this speech right now. I'm following it on Twitter. And Urbi et Orbi means to the city and to the world. And so he's balancing, on the one hand, giving the message of Christmas, which is that God becomes man. And he enters into our world, our messiness, and he offers us a second chance, or a third, or a fourth, or a fifth chance for redemption, for saying yes to love and saying no to anger and hatred. On the other hand, he's also recognizing what's going on in the world, which is a lot of this anger and hatred. And he's talking about all the persecution of Christians all over the world, and not just Christians. He's talking about the conflicts right now that are going on in the Middle East and in Africa, so many places. And so he's balancing that act of the message of Christmas at the same time, the reality of the world.
Well, and that reality, in 2013, he talked about Catholics not being afraid. And I think that this year could be such a thing, because there is so much fear in the world right now because of the attacks that have happened.
Yes, and as Anna mentioned, that tenderness, I think, goes together with that decision of not being afraid. It's deciding that in our own little worlds that are sometimes messy too, we're going to offer the love and the tenderness of God that he showed us by coming to us in the form of a baby. Who's afraid of a baby? Nobody's afraid of a baby. And that's the most beautiful. You know, what happened to me last night coming out of midnight, or this morning coming out of midnight mass, there was a couple there who had a little baby, and for whatever reason this little baby wanted to come to me, maybe because of the shiny vestments or something.
Nice.
And the baby would not go back to their parents. Everybody came out of mass. I greeted everybody with the baby. The mother came, come, and he pushed away and he stayed. I said, sorry, you can't live in the rectory. But nobody is afraid of a baby.
You know, Father Jonathan, is there a way that you would tweak your message a little bit differently than the Pope, since it's more U.S.-centric? And you know, I mean, despite the fact that we feel like America's maybe fallen down a step or two, we're still the greatest country in the world by far. And there's certain things we need to be reminded of that may be specific to us as Americans.
Well, I think, as you I think point to, Charles, there's still a tremendous amount of faith in the United States of America. 90% say they believe in God. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to church. It doesn't mean that everybody, recognizes, the religious traditions, perhaps, of their parents or grandparents. But yes, there's so much faith. And I think the message is very simple. Let's get back to the brass tacks of the faith. Let's get back to saying yes to God, saying no to sin in our lives, and yes to love and to compassion and tenderness to everyone. And I think that's a great way to begin Christmas in the new year.
Father, for a lot of people who may not go to church every Sunday, Christmas and Easter are the two times that they will have their booties in the pew and they're listening to an amazing message. How can congregations capitalize on that and try to get these people to come back more often than just twice a year?
Well, what I say is welcome. You know, you might be here only for Christmas or Easter, but we're so happy you're here. And then I tell them to go to Facebook and to Twitter and to follow us at church, and people laugh and they say, oh, okay. But it's a way to connect with them, and then, make them feel at home.
Because it's a community.
It is. We have to make it a family, too, not just a community, but a real family. And that's not easy to do in the craziness that is our world. Maybe it's easier in other parts. I'm in the Bronx, in New York City. It's a crazy place. But we have to, everybody needs family. Everybody needs family. And I think the fact that Jesus came into a family as a baby with a mother and a father and a stepfather, that's
a wonderful message. Thank you so much, Father Jonathan.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you waking up early with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.